I'm Marcela Davila. Welcome to Davila Homemaking. I recently put out a cookbook in calendar form, and I'm going to be putting out a monthly video to accompany each month to show you how easy it is to make these recipes. And in the month of January, we have Cocido. And this is one of my most favorite dishes that my father would make growing up. It's known as the hangover soup, so you almost always make it on New Year's Eve with menudo. And it is, think of it as a heavy stew type soup. And so if you don't eat beef, you can make it just with vegetables. I make a really great version with chicken that I will also give you an idea on how to make. But come on over, let me show you how easy this is to make. Cocido is a traditional Mexican soup made with beef and certain vegetables. Every Mexican woman on the planet has a different version of how to make this, but this is the way my daddy made it. And we start off with some chuck roast chopped into big pieces. I am not a big red meat eater, but this particular soup, I like it with a lot of beef. It makes the broth really lovely, and I like each bite to have meat in it. We have garbanzos, and garbanzos, it's better in the can. Do not rinse them out. You want that garbanzo juice in there. And I used 2 cans of garbanzos. We have chopped onion, cabbage, potatoes. You can use any potatoes that you have. I happen to have a whole bunch of these little baby potatoes on hand. They're purple, a red, and yellow, and those are the ones I'm going to be using, but you can use any potatoes that you have on hand. If they're large potatoes, you want to cut those into smaller pieces. We have sweet potatoes that have been peeled and cut. We have carrots that have been peeled and cut, and again, these are big pieces of carrots. We have some zucchini. We have green beans. And the green beans, you want to make sure they're fresh green beans. You snap the ends off and you want them whole, this size. Canned green beans are not going to have the same flavor, so you want to make sure you get fresh French green beans. And then corn, you want to have the corn on the cob. Traditional cocido is served with each bowl having a nice big sweet corn on the cob in each bowl. We have some chopped tomatoes. We have some minced celery with chopped cilantro. We have garlic, and I didn't have any fresh garlic. I had a garlic in an olive oil, so we're just going to use that for today. That works perfectly well. And then I like adding a pinch of cinnamon to my cocido. That's just a personal preference. I like that sweet and savory. And then we have salt and pepper. So what we're gonna do, you need a nice big pot because cocido is super bulky. And so it's gonna take a while to cook all those vegetables down. If you try to put all these in a little pot, it's gonna overflow and you won't have enough space for all your water. So we're gonna take the pot, and this is how simple this is to make. You do not have to brown the beef first because we're gonna slow cook this on the stove for a couple of hours. So it's gonna cook perfectly fine. You do not have to brown it. So we're gonna add our beef first. And then I like to add the cabbage next because the cabbage is bulky, but it's gonna cook down. So we're gonna add our cabbage, onions. There's no order to this at all. Sweet potatoes, our potatoes, carrots, zucchini, the corn on the cob, green beans. And see what I mean? It's already popping out of the top, so you need to make sure you have a nice big pot. We're gonna add the garbanzos and all that juice from the can. Our cilantro and our minced celery. Tomatoes And I think in the recipe I called for a can of tomatoes. I happen to have a bunch of tomatoes in the fridge that were about to go bad, so we just chopped all those up and we're using those instead. We have the garlic with the olive oil, little pinch of cinnamon. I have pepper. I like really thick ground pepper. I don't like it finely ground, but that's just a personal preference. But we're probably gonna put 2 big pinches of pepper in there. Same thing with the salt. Let's put 2 pinches of salt in there. And again, once you're tasting the broth as it's cooking, you can always make adjustments. So I'm gonna take this over. I have filtered water on the sink. I'm gonna fill this up about 3/4 with the filtered water, and then you can watch me put it on the stove, okay? There's a filtered water ahead of time. And if you don't have filtered, so we've got it over here. We're gonna put it on high. And we only have her filled up about there to water. So we're gonna let this get to a high boil, and then we'll come back and look at it. We'll add a little more water and then we'll turn it on low. But come and see what she looks like. Look at all those beautiful vegetables. And we got the beef on the bottom. We're gonna let this cook down. We'll come and check on it in a few minutes. Okay, so let's come take a look. This has been boiling for about 1 hour. Oh, look how beautiful. And I don't usually put these little baby potatoes in there, but that just happened to be what I had in the kitchen. So we used those, and that looks really lovely. And as you can see, the beef is starting to cook, and it's gonna continue to cook in this broth. We have it on a high, it's on a nice high boil. I'm in the kitchen and I'm watching it, so I'm gonna put it on a medium high. I'm gonna add a little more water to this. A little more water. You can probably be more careful than I was. Making a mess in my kitchen. There we go. And then I'm just gonna let this be. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. I'll keep lowering the heat. It's gonna need another, at least an hour to have that first bowl. But the more you cook it, the better it's gonna get. So we're just gonna leave it. We'll take another peek at it in a little bit. Okay guys, we're back. Thank you so much for your patience. Clearly making videos is not going to be my new big career, but I hope you found the recipe easy to follow. We lost the ending of that video. I am learning as we go, so hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have it down pat for the next calendar of recipes. We have pop-ups coming up, and at those pop-ups you can still pick up my cookbook with all of these fabulous, easy, versatile recipes to follow. So we hope to see you there. And I'm looking forward to cooking with you throughout the year. Make sure you send me a text or a picture of how your cocido turned out, and any thoughts that you have on how to do the next video, how to make that recipe easier to follow. Thank you so much. See you soon.